وكان جلالة الملك عبد الله الثاني تسلم في مدينة أسيزي الإيطالية بحضور جلالة الملكة رانيا العبد الله جائزة مصباح السلام لعام 2019 التي تمنح لجلالته تقديرا لجهوده في تعزيز حقوق الإنسان والتآخي وحوار الأديان والسلام في الشرق الأوسط والعالم. كما شارك جلالته بحضور جلالة الملكة رانيا العبد الله في جلسة حوارية مع مجموعة من رهبان ولاجئين وإعلاميين في كاتدرائية فرانسيس الأسيزي بمدينة أسيزي الإيطالية. وشارك في الجلسة التي نظمتها الرهبنة الفرنسيسكانية الكاثوليكية ضمن فعالية تسليم جلالة الملك جائزة مصباح السلام المستشارة الألمانية أنجيلا ميركل ورئيس الوزراء الإيطالي جوزيبي كونتي، وفي معرض رد جلالة الملك على أسئلة عدد من الحضور، والتي تناول أحدها استضافة الأردن لعدد كبير من اللاجئين ودور المجتمع الدولي في دعم اللاجئين والدول المستضيفة. قال جلالته:
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. First of all, I am truly honored to be here on behalf of Jordanians to accept this great honor that has been passed from a dear friend of mine who has been actually an example to many of us of how we look at the issue that you have just said. We have, as Jordan today, we hold just over 15% of the world's refugees in our country. And as was alluded to by the Prime Minister, it's not just Syrians, but many in our region. And this has been a great challenge. But at the same time, when we looked at refugees, how could we turn our backs on them when mothers and children were coming to our borders, escaping violence, escaping persecution? How could we, people who have love in our hearts, turn them away? And it was very clear to all of us that we had to accept them into our country. But not only just to accept them as refugees, they have to have a future in our country until the opportunity is ready for them to be able to go back. And I thank many of the countries around this world, including 2 countries represented here at the table, that understood this and helped Jordan. It's been a tremendous strain on Jordanian citizens. Our unemployment has gone up. We have welcomed the refugees into our healthcare system, into our schooling system. Most of our schools up in the north now are in double shifts. That means they have to work in the morning, shut down, reopen again. Housing has become a problem. But the only way that you look after refugees is to include them into your society. That is why Syrians have got work permits, work in our country. That's why they're in our education system and our health system. Because the overwhelming majority of refugees, at least the ones that are in Jordan, want to go back home. And unless we empower them, unless we give them education, unless we look after them, give them opportunities, how are they going to be able to go back as a positive building blocks of society? So when we look at Syria, we hope that we're all working together to improve the political aspects of this, but the next phase is stabilization. Stabilization is an opportunity for young people to go back and be a building block. It's not going to be easy. It needs a lot of hard work. And again, in front of the Chancellor, who has actually set the tone in Europe, I believe, when I was first having to tackle the issue of refugees, because the Chancellor cared. And it's very difficult sometimes for politicians to look at it from the heart. And so I think she was a model and an example for all of us in the Middle East in trying to open the doors to this very important challenges. And it's because of friends like the Chancellor that gives us the strength. We do need more help. There is donor fatigue, unfortunately. So more and more is the pressure on the Jordanian government to look after refugees. And as a point, Jordanian citizens are suffering and they're frustrated. But at the end of the day, we have to do the right thing. We have to do what is in our heart. And in our heart, the right thing is to look after refugees, give them a chance, and include them into our society.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
وفي رد جلالة الملك على سؤال حول الدور الذي من الممكن أن تقوم به دبلوماسية الحوار بين الأديان في مكافحة الفكر المتطرف، قال جلالته:
I agree with you very much, and I think this is a challenge and a question that all of us have to look with tremendous seriousness. Obviously, from a Jordanian point of view, we realized many years ago that there was going to be a challenge of extremist rhetoric that was going to plague our societies for some time to come. And this is why, as Muslims, we reached out in the Amman message to talk to each other, as Christianity did many hundreds of years ago. And built on that, obviously, the common word between Christianity and Islam, because we realized that we were going to be in this battle for our future, our dignity, our humanity. I think, as alluded to by Chancellor Merkel, the challenges that we all have is how do you look at the challenges from a holistic approach? Daesh may be defeated in Syria and Iraq, but it's not destroyed, and it's not Daesh. These ideologies of hatred for whatever religions have been on the uptake recently. The military intelligence aspect of this is the short term. We hope it's the short term. The long-term challenge that all of us have is the ideological battle. And it's not, as I think we've discussed recently and as alluded to by the Chancellor, it's in Africa, East and West, Boko Haram, Shabab. We have challenges in the Balkans. We have counter-radicalization issues in Europe, Asia also. We still haven't tackled, as part of our forum, that we work with both Italy and Germany on the holistic approach, Latin and South America. So this is a global challenge for some time to come. And this is a challenge that you, as a younger generation, unfortunately have inherited, but we need to give you the enablers to be able to overcome these issues. So when we look at the medium long-term challenge, it's how hatred is put out there in the international thought without any checks and balances. How do we fight that? Part of the problem is social media and the new ways of communications. And unfortunately, we saw a rather horrible aspect of that in New Zealand 2 weeks ago, where social media promotes hatred against others. So at the end of the day, why are we all here? And we have mentioned this this morning. What binds all of us together is to love thy God and love thy neighbor. But do we actually believe that? Too many people talk about we tolerate each other. Shouldn't we respect and love each other? If we truly have God in our heart, then we will overcome these challenges. I paraphrase this on many occasions. There is nothing probably stronger than this old saying that for evil to succeed is for good men and women to do nothing. Can we, as a majority of people, be able to stand up and count on each other when something is wrong? To be able to come together and look at the glass half full, to bring love into our hearts. That is going to be the challenge. However you want to describe it, through ideology, through our schools, through our homes. It is only that we become strengthened in front of all these evil societies or evil groups if we hold each other's hands and accept that we love each other, that we stand with each other, and we stand for a future. Otherwise, this long-term challenge will be there for generations to come.
Thank you. Adesso